Welcome, everybody, to the Business at Berkeley information session hosted by the Haas undergraduate programs admissions team. My name's Diana Martinez. My pronouns are she, her. I'm one of the associate directors of admission here at the Haas undergraduate programs. And we're so excited that you're interested in applying to the business administration major here at the Haas School of Business at UC Berkeley. We are going to go ahead and talk today about what the business administration major is like, the academic side of it, and also how to apply to the business administration major. So let's go ahead and get started. Before we go too far into it, I do want to show you the Haas admissions team. As you can see, I'm there, but also my coworkers, Asha, Katie, and Monique, and also our contact information. You can always check out more content on our Instagram page or our YouTube page, so be sure to check out those handles. And if any of your questions are not answered today in this session, please email us at uginfo@haas.berkeley.edu. You can also give us a call during business hours, and there's our phone number there. We also have our website listed so that you can check that out as well. So let's discuss the business administration major. Before we jump into the academics, though, I would like to talk about the culture at Haas. It's our distinct, unique culture, and it's driven by our 4 Haas defining leadership principles. And those principles are question the status quo, confidence without attitude, student always, and beyond yourself. Taken together, these 4 leadership principles drive our culture at Haas. They guide us when we are putting together programming for students, and they really define the leaders that we look to put forth into the business world. These are also important defining leadership principles because the admissions team seeks applicants who embody these defining leadership principles. So that's an important thing to reflect on as you prepare to put together your application. How do I embody one or more of these defining leadership principles? So the academic side of the major, as you can see, the business major here at Berkeley Haas is a BS in Business Administration. That's a Bachelor's of Science in Business Administration. And the major requirements are comprised of the business core curriculum, business electives, non-business classes, and also the breadth and university requirements that all UC Berkeley students must complete for graduation. So this is an example of the business core curriculum that I mentioned just before. Now here's a list of all the business core classes that every business administration major must take. This is a sample plan though, so you don't necessarily have to take these courses in this exact order. We just wanted to give you an idea of how you might choose to space out the classes in your junior and senior year. I'd also like to note that these classes are a mix of qualitative and quantitative classes. So that core curriculum is a great way to give you a strong foundation in business and help you be agile in the job market. But the business electives, they help you to hone in on your interests and passions within the larger field of business. So we don't have official concentrations within the business major. However, we do have these electives where you can focus on what you're most excited to learn about. So this is just a short list of all of our business electives. You can see the full list on Berkeley's course catalog. And of course, when you are applying to jobs, this is a great place to point when it comes to your experience in a very specific field. Now, you don't have to concentrate all your electives on the same field. If you want, you can explore and dive into many different topics and learn more about all the different avenues of business. So let's discuss the admissions process. If you want to apply to be a business administration major here at Berkeley Haas, you first need to complete some business requirements. So we have prerequisite courses that you need to complete, and you must earn a C- or better in these courses. So let's first start with UGBA 10X, Foundations of Business. That is a fabulous class that we have here at UC Berkeley, and it's also a very popular class. So because it might be challenging to register for that class in your first 2 years here at Berkeley, you have the option to take the equivalent of UGBA 10X at a local community college if you can't register for that class here at UC Berkeley. And just so you know, you need to use assist.org to find that pre-approved introductory business course that we would accept for transfer credit. So go to assist.org and make sure you find the right business class. Another thing to note is that the admissions committee has no preference for applicants who take UGBA 10X at UC Berkeley or if they take it at a community college. Both versions will be viewed equally. That's the UGBA 10X Foundations of Business requirement. You also need to take calculus. So we have 2 semesters of calculus is usually the route that students will take. Here at UC Berkeley, you can do Math 1A and Math 1B, or you can do Math 16A, Math 16B. You could also mix and match Math 1A and Math 16B. There are some other options listed on our website. Some students prefer to do Math 54 or one of the other rigorous math courses. So make sure that you go to our website, which I will link in the description below, so that you can ensure you're taking the right math prerequisite. There are many options, but make sure that you are going off of the list on our website. So for economics, you can either take Econ 1 or Econ 2. For statistics, you want to take an introductory statistics course. There are many options for that as well, so I recommend going to our website to see the full list. And then you must also take 2 semesters of reading and composition. So that's the R1A, R1B requirement here at UC Berkeley. So once you're at UC Berkeley, all prerequisites must be completed here at UC Berkeley. And the 2 big exceptions are UGBA 10X and also the R1A, R1B reading and composition requirements. You can take any of those classes at a community college, even after you've enrolled at UC Berkeley. However, any of the other prerequisites that I mentioned, if you did not take that course at a community college or a local university before you joined UC Berkeley, then you will have to complete it at UC Berkeley. So there's that important requirement. And the other important thing to know is that all these prerequisite courses, they should not be more than 5 years old. If you plan to join us at Berkeley Haas in fall of 2025, all the prerequisites you took should have been taken fall 2020 or after. Many students ask us, if I took an AP exam or an IB exam or an A-levels exam, would I be able to test out of any of these prerequisite courses? And the answer is, it's possible. It just depends on the test you took and the score you earned. So I will also include a link in the description below that has all the different AP, IB, A-levels exams and the scores that would be acceptable for fulfilling any of these prerequisites that I mentioned. Another important admissions requirement is that you must have 60 semester units complete by the end of the spring term that you're applying. Now, this includes transfer credit. So if you do have transfer credit from another institution, or even if you have transfer credit from completing AP, IB, or A-level exams, that will count toward the 60 semester requirement. So make sure to have that complete and make sure to have all the prerequisite courses complete by the end of the spring term that you are applying. Another important admissions requirement is you must either be a sophomore or a junior at UC Berkeley in order to apply. Here is an example of how you may choose to space out your prerequisite courses your first 2 years here at UC Berkeley. It's a sample plan, so you don't have to do it in this exact order. Now let's talk about the Haas application itself. There are 4 different components. There's your academic record, and you will report your progress of the Haas prerequisites and the grades you earned in them. Remember, you got to take those prerequisites for a letter grade, and then you'll give us those grades in this part of the application. You also have your essays. There are 2 required essays and 1 optional essay. And then we have your activities and awards section. That's your extracurriculars. You also will include honors and awards you may have earned. And then there's the video interview. This part, just like all the rest of the application components, is mandatory. It's required. So that allows you to chat with us more on your own behalf, sharing your voice and more things about you. So let's dive a little deeper. The self-reported academic record, you may also hear us call it an SAR. We are just looking to make sure you completed all the prerequisites for a letter grade of C- or higher. We are looking at your performance in the prerequisites. This is important to us because those prerequisites are going to give us a good idea on how you may perform in the Haas 4 classes. We are taking into account your course load. We're also taking into account if we see any grade trends and consistency of academic performance. As you're filling it out, if you are currently taking a prerequisite course and you don't know what your grade's going to be, then just put IP for your grade. That means in progress. So the activities and awards section is a great place to show us how you are involved outside of the classroom and how you can be a leader in those spaces as well. So you can include family responsibilities. This is an important one to know because if you have really big family responsibilities, like perhaps you're doing caretaking or caregiving for a family member, maybe you're doing interpretation and translation for monolingual family members, or maybe you're taking on parental duties, right? Maybe you have younger siblings or cousins and you're doing a lot of things for them to help raise them that usually would be something more of a parental role. Those are all things you should put in the activities and awards section if they apply to you. Now, other things you can include are community service, campus clubs and organizations, work experience, perhaps you have a job on or off campus, also internships, military service, athletics, and honors, awards, and scholarships. Notice I never said that you have to have business experience. You don't have to have business experience. We know that not everybody has the same opportunities in that way. However, we are really interested in seeing if you have leadership potential. So whatever it is you are involved in, make sure you're going for those leadership roles. Even if it's not a specific title, perhaps you are still doing things that showcase leadership. For example, maybe you're facilitating meetings. Maybe you are training or mentoring people. Perhaps you're planning a big event or project. These are some examples of what you can do to be a leader within a community or a group. So also something we're looking for is your impact, your time commitment, consistency, your accomplishments and contributions, and also your level of responsibility. So I mentioned we have some essays, 2 required and 1 optional. So this is a great way for us to get to know you on a qualitative level, right? We want to know about your interests and your dreams and passions, your plans for the business major. So we are able to get a sense of your voice, your writing style, beyond your courses and your extracurriculars. Please make sure to show us your rationale for applying, some insight in your personal journey and your overall fit for the major. That's what makes a good essay. Also, we will be evaluating for writing ability, skill in organizing and presenting thoughts, and the relevance of the answers to the questions posed. In other words, make sure you're answering the prompts. Here are some tips for having a strong essay. We really want you to be authentic, right? We want to know who you are. So tell your story. And this is not a place to list your achievements. That's what the activities and awards section is for. You're listing all your experiences and the things you've achieved in that section. In this section, we want to know more, right? So go ahead and give us more details. Be mindful of the word limit though, and make sure that you're answering the prompts. So let's talk about the video interview. It is required, and the video interview allows you to speak on your own behalf, quite literally. You're sharing your voice. So you will be evaluated on the content of what you say, not how you look or what you're wearing, right? We're not going to be evaluating presentation skills. So it's okay to be nervous. It's okay to stumble over your words or say a bunch of times. We understand that it could be nerve-wracking. Also, you don't have to dress professionally. You should wear what makes you feel most comfortable. So if you feel most comfortable in a suit, then great, feel free to wear it. But if you feel most comfortable in a sweatshirt and jeans, that's great too. Here are some tips. It's great to hear a story from your essay. Maybe you want to use an example that you already used in your essay. That's okay. That's great. Just make sure that you're expanding more on the example. Maybe tell us something that you didn't already tell us in the essay. And the other really big tip is we want to get to know you. So be yourself, be authentic. So let's talk about the timeline. I want to note that every year, these application dates may change slightly. The application does take place in spring semester in March. However, the exact dates of the application opening and closing may change. So these dates are specifically for spring 2025. But if you're applying in a different year, then please visit our website to see what the exact dates are. So in spring of 2025, the Haas application will open March 3rd, and then it will close March 31st at 4 p.m. And that's all parts of the application itself, and the video interview. Everything's due at 4 p.m. March 31st. I always recommend to turn things in at least a few days early, because if you do run into any questions or technical difficulties as you're turning it in, you will still have time to reach out to us, and we can support you if we have a few days before the deadline. We cannot help you out after the deadline, so please take that into account. So for spring of 2025, May 16th is the end of spring term. All the admissions requirements are complete at that time, right? The prerequisites, the 60 semester units. Even after you submit your application at the end of March, you still have things to do in order to ensure that you are eligible to apply, which is completing those prerequisites and admissions requirements. by the end of the spring semester. In mid-June, that's when you find out if you were admitted to the business major or not. And we're really excited every June to welcome the new class of Haas students. So students typically apply during sophomore year, but you can apply as a junior. And we don't give preference, sophomores to juniors. We're excited for all the applicants. So whether you apply your sophomore year or your junior year, you may only apply once. If you decide not to apply to the business major, or perhaps you do apply and you're not admitted, you're still a UC Berkeley student and you can access the Haas School of Business in many different ways and still be involved. The biggest way you can still be involved with Haas is you can still enroll in Haas courses. And I recommend, if you're having trouble registering for some of the most popular courses, you can register during summer if those courses are offered in the summer. Also, you can get involved with Haas clubs and organizations. Our Haas-sponsored organizations are excellent ways to get connected with business, have plenty of professional development, and build community. You could do independent study with a Haas professor. You could get involved learning more about the full-time MBA. They have an accelerated access program that you can look into. If you're interested in the intersection of business, sustainability, and policy, we have a summer minor on just that. So check that out as well. Or perhaps you're interested in being an accountant. We have a Berkeley Charter of Professional Accountancy program, and you don't have to be a Haas student to participate. And lastly, we do have internal case competitions here at UC Berkeley. So if you want to do some hands-on work, learning more about being a business consultant, you can participate in one of those case competitions. Here are some resources for you. As you can see, we've got our Haas undergraduate admissions website there. We also have pre-admissions advising. So if this presentation did not answer your question, and if it's maybe too complicated to write in an email or call us about, you can set up a virtual admissions advising appointment with myself or one of my coworkers. You can go on our website on our events and advising page to find that link. And also we have our Haas undergraduate Instagram and YouTube. I really recommend you follow us on Instagram in particular because we give tips, we give reminders, and we have fabulous content from current Haas students who share what it's like to be a Haas student. And here's our information. Do not hesitate to reach out to us, please, because we love to support students. We are here to chat with you, to answer your questions. We want to make sure you have all the information you need and that you feel all the support that you need in order to apply to Haas and to feel confident about your application. So go ahead and give us a call. You could even visit us at the Haas campus in the Student Services building. Just note our office hours, and also don't forget to visit our website. And here's a link tree for you. You can use this QR code. It has links to all the things I mentioned before, our website, our events page, and also our Haas-sponsored organizations. There are just a lot of great resources that we're really excited to share with you. So go ahead and use that QR code to visit our link tree. And without further ado, thank you so much for watching this presentation. We're really excited to learn more about you through your application. And once again, do not hesitate to reach out if more questions come up. We can't wait to chat with you, and have a wonderful semester. Good luck and go Bears.